Hey yo guys, it is me, HappyCairek, and welcome to Last on Earth Survival Weapon Tier List. So I wanted to make this video for a really long time, and finally today is the day. So in short, I'm gonna be rating all of the available Last on Earth Survival weapons and place them here into 4 categories: AAA, A, B, and C categories. So in short, you can already see here explanation on the screen, but AAA category means that weapons are gonna be really unique. They're gonna have like some sort of special ability, or they're very cheap and at the same time still pretty strong and very versatile. Then A tier weapons are gonna be pretty great, but they aren't gonna be as great as AAA because maybe they aren't as unique, or maybe they're just a little bit more rare, or they're just simply not as good as AAA. And then we have B tier category, and by no means B tier isn't gonna contain like super bad weapons. Those weapons are still gonna be pretty okay, but they're just either super rare, or they're just very expensive, or they're just like pretty bad compared to like A or AAA weapons. And C category, I mean, it explains itself. It's just like better than nothing weapons. I would really love to call this C category garbage weapons, but like garbage is garbage and C is just like better than nothing. So I think let's just start rating here all of these weapons. And also a quick disclaimer, so all of this is just my personal opinion. Some of you might use these weapons differently and you might see some sort of potential that I didn't see here in this video. But I've been playing this game for over 2 years and I got to test out all of these weapons pretty well. So I'll try to rate these weapons on the scale on how I use them and whatever other stuff. So let's just hop straight inside into rating these weapons. And another really important thing, we're gonna get to rating these weapons really quickly, but I just want to get all of the questions out of the way because I already can see a couple of people asking questions like, Cairek, why this list doesn't contain like whatever weapon or something. So if I missed any weapons here, I apologize about that. I tried my best to include every weapon here besides the one-time unique like whatever event weapons, such as the frost staff that was available on Christmas like last year or something. So let's start off here our tier list by rating the baseball bat. So a couple of months ago, I would probably rate baseball bat as useless, better than nothing, but recently I realized that you can get a lot of good melee weapons from brown crates in police department, and it gives you a lot of baseball bats. So baseball bats aren't as rare. If you're beginner and you want to get like some weapons, just go to police department, open up those brown crates, and you're gonna gather a lot of baseball bats. So just because of this reason, baseball bat is going to go into B category. I'm gonna place that baseball bat here on the second line of the B tier list because maybe there are gonna be a bit better weapons than that baseball bat in the B tier list, but baseball bat is pretty okay. So now let's rate our katana, and katana by no doubt is gonna go into the AAA weapon category. Some people might think that katanas are quite rare, but truth to be told, if you are gonna open up a lot of brown crates in police department, you're not gonna be able to fit those katanas in your base. Like I have over 2 racks of those katanas in my base already, and they are super strong, and if you're gonna be doing police department properly and opening up those green crates, you're gonna be able to gather a lot of katanas. I don't think you'll be able to gather a lot of katanas in the beginning of the game, but after you hit like level 150 or something, these katanas are gonna be absolutely awesome and you're gonna have a lot of them. So that's why katanas go into the AAA category. Then we have the good old Skull Crusher, and I don't have much love for the Skull Crusher. I didn't use it myself that frequently because it's kind of slow, and even though it does like 45 damage and you can mod it to like 50 damage, but it's still not as awesome. There are just better weapons than that Skull Crusher. You personally probably would never craft those Skull Crushers yourself, so that's why Skull Crusher is gonna go into B category. And now let's rate here our favorite weapon, Zip Gun, and we all know where the Zip Gun is gonna go. Into AAA, right, Cairek? Yes, it's obviously gonna go into AAA. So Zip Gun goes into C category. It's pretty awesome when you find it for free or something, but crafting it yourself is a really bad idea. It's super expensive. Also, they're quite rare, so Zip Guns are just better than nothing. Pretty okay to use on Frenzy Giants, but other than that, there are way better substitutes to that Zip Gun. Now let's talk here about the Shovel, and Shovel is kind of awesome, but there are just better weapons than Shovel. You can craft it, but it's kind of expensive and it's pretty slow, and personally myself, I almost never use the Shovel. Maybe it's pretty good. A lot of people use that Shovel, but myself, I just don't see the appeal to the Shovel. So I am gonna place it in the B tier close to the Skull Crusher because in my opinion, they both have like the same value. Now let's talk here about the Machete. Like strict away without hesitation, I'm gonna place it into the A tier list on the second line there because machetes are pretty awesome, especially if you're gonna mod it or something, but they're quite expensive and they're just better substitutes than this machete. Like for example, using that katana or something, because obviously katana is better than that machete. Then we have a torch, and it's a torch, so it fits perfectly here in the C category with our zip gun. Then we have here a golf club, and again, you can find those golf clubs in the brown crates at the police department, but in my opinion, golf clubs aren't as strong as baseball bats, so I'm gonna place those golf clubs inside of the C category close to the torch and the zip gun. And just to save your time, we have here 3 such weapons as paddle, hockey stick, and hammer, and all of these weapons go into C category. I think I don't even need to explain that. Also, speaking about the paddles, hockey stick, and hammers, they are all kind of rare. You cannot craft them, and they're pretty bad weapons if you want to fight somebody, especially the paddles. Like, I would even place paddles on the second line, but it doesn't matter. The C tier category is already filled with kind of garbage. And now our tier list gets a little bit more interesting because we have a scythe here, and for those who do not know, the only way to obtain your scythe is in the blue crate by doing that farm. And scythes aren't as super cool. Like, there's no way I'm gonna place it into AAA or even A category. In my opinion, it's gonna go into B category. And some people might love these scythes, but again, a lot of players even struggle getting that one scythe. And whilst it's pretty cool, like, it's probably the highest DPS melee weapon in the game, but it's so rare, it has such little durability, and it's like, it's not really super versatile, so B category on the second line here, that's where it's gonna stay. And now let's talk a little bit about our saw blade mace. So saw blade mace is like a nerfed version of scythe. Like, it's pretty cool, you can craft it, still kind of rare. Most likely nobody would ever craft it themselves unless you're gonna get it like from some sort of crate from dealer, or maybe like from those green crates in police department. They're also not super versatile, but they're a bit more common than scythe, so I'm gonna place it a little bit above the scythe, but it's still not amazing weapon, and I didn't really use them that much. They were a bit better when you could easily sneak attack frenzy giants, and now it's a little bit more tricky. It's not super easy to sneak attack those frenzy giants, but that's where the saw blade mace stops shining. Like, after sneak attacking those frenzy giants, it doesn't have any other usages, and it's a bit rare, so I think B category fits perfectly for our saw blade mace. Then we have here a sign, and you can find signs most likely only at the airdrops, and signs are pretty cool. I think they're doing like 30 damage, but they're kind of rare, and it's really hard to place them inside of the C category because the sign is definitely better like than the torch. So I will place the sign here inside of the B category on the second line. I think it fits perfectly. And now let's talk a little bit about grenades, because I mean, grenade is some sort of a weapon, and it's definitely worth it to raid grenades as well. And grenades were probably one of the most recent weapons added here to the game, and you can find grenades only if you have your burglar skill, and they're a bit tricky to use and blah blah blah, but I'm still gonna place them inside of the AAA category. So now I want to say why I want to place those grenades inside of the AAA category, because they are very, very unique, and even though they're quite rare, but they're super awesome, because one grenade can do about 1000 damage. Like, that grenade does 200 damage, but if you're gonna use it on 5 zombies, that means it's gonna do 1000 damage. So grenades are really awesome if you're gonna use them at the police department. So in the beginning, whilst you won't have your burglar skill, you're not gonna be able to get those grenades, because to get grenades you'll have to find them either at the 4th floor inside of those locked crates and inside of those locked lockers, or at the motel. But again, for that you will need to have your burglar skill. But after you get the burglar skill, these grenades are gonna become super worth it, because like I said, they do 1000 damage, so that means one grenade is about half a Glock. So if you're gonna gather like stack of grenades or something, that's gonna be like 10 Glocks, and if you're gonna go to police department, you're gonna save up a tremendous amount of weapons. So that's why grenades are gonna go into AAA category. And now let's talk about the pipe. So for those who do not know, before it was like a can with spikes or something. I don't even remember how it's called, like spiked devastator probably, but then they changed it to a pipe, and I will easily, without a doubt, place our pipe here close to our machete, because it's a really, really great weapon. It's maybe a little bit expensive compared to some other weapons, but again, it's pretty cheap, and A category here is super perfect. And also, I would just like to say that I am not comparing here these melee weapons to guns. So let's say if gun is gonna go into the A category, that doesn't mean that gun is as good as the melee weapon, or melee weapon is as good as the gun. It's just that I didn't want to make here 2 videos where I rate like these melee weapons and then I rate guns. I wanted to put everything here into one video to not waste your time. So that's why melee weapons and guns are in the same weapon tier list, but I am not comparing these weapons and guns directly to each other. So hopefully that makes sense. So now we're going to talk about grenade launcher, and obviously grenade launcher without a doubt is going to go to the AAA category. Even though grenade launchers are extremely rare and the only way to obtain them is through that floppy crate, and it's really hard to get a floppy crate, but that one grenade launcher can do 13 shots, and one shot does like 200 damage damage. So that's basically like 13 grenades. And those 13 grenades are like 6.5 Glocks. So you will be seriously able to output 13,000 damage just at that police department if you're gonna damage 5 zombies at the same time. But if you're gonna wait or something, you'll be able to gather even more zombies. The damage that you deal with your grenade launcher is insane. And again, the best way to get rich probably in Last on Earth Survival is just to gather enough grenades and grenade launchers and then go and do like 50 or 60 waves at the police department. And do not exchange your green crates and you're seriously gonna be rich. You will be able to easily fill your entire rack with katanas. So that's why grenade launchers and grenades here are super awesome. They're crucial if you want to become rich like kind of quickly, even not really quickly, but they're really crucial. That's why they're super rare, but they are very unique and super powerful. And now let's talk about our good old miniguns. So some people do not like them, but they have a lot of durability. I think they have over like 3,000 durability, if I'm not mistaken. So that's like 1.5 unmodded Glocks, but they are super rare. And even though they're really strong, I don't think that they are that bad, because some people think that, wow, miniguns are just super horrible or something. But miniguns are pretty good, except that they are kind of rare. So I'm gonna place them here inside of the B category. And just like I said, I'm not comparing here miniguns to weapons, because for example, machete isn't like better than that minigun or something. Obviously, minigun is gonna be stronger than the machete. But I am here comparing guns to guns and melee weapons to melee weapons. So that's why minigun goes inside of the B tier category. Then we have here our SCAR, and the only way to obtain SCAR is through, again, those floppy crates, and they're kind of rare. And to be honest, those SCARs aren't like super unique compared to other guns. Like you can definitely find better weapons than that SCAR. So that's why, in my opinion, SCARs are gonna go inside of the B category on the second line, because they're super rare, and whilst they are kind of strong, but the mods for those SCARs are extremely expensive and they're just aren't super awesome. Like fully modded SCAR is gonna output the highest DPS available here in the game, and SCARs, yeah, they're super awesome, blah blah blah, but they aren't as unique. They're easily replaceable, and I don't think I need to explain any more about SCARs. Like they're super strong, yes, I know, but they're extremely rare and they aren't like super whatever unique. And same exact thing applies to the VSSs, because VSSs are extremely rare, and even though they do 50 damage per shot, they don't output that high of a DPS. They do like about 100 damage per second, and there are way better weapons than this VSS. Mods for VSS are like 50-50. Like seriously, mods for VSSs, in my opinion, are one of the worst mods here that you can build in the game. They aren't the worst, but like one of the worst mods you can craft for your weapons. And the fact that they're extremely rare, VSS is gonna go into the B category. And again, don't get me wrong, VSSs aren't bad. They're really strong, but they're easily replaceable and they're just super rare. And then we have here the AKs, and I'm still kind of debating where should I put the AK, either into A category or triple A category, because AKs are super strong, especially if you're gonna craft those mods. If you're gonna fully mod your AK, it's gonna be like a beast. It's gonna be like the best weapon, like the highest DPS weapon that you can craft, but they are kind of rare and you need to craft mods for that AK. So I don't really know where to put that AK. Like, it's seriously super hard to determine. Like, I want to place it inside of the AAA, but I don't think AKs are like super that unique or whatever. Like, you will need fully modded AKs to do some sort of events. Like, for example, we had that event with like Cramp. It wasn't Cramp or whatever. Like, it was the Specimen Giant on the second season, and you had to have like fully modded AK to deal with those wave of zombies before they destroy the cylinder. So that's where AK is kind of unique, but we don't have a lot of other events where you would need like that sort of high DPS or something. So I think that I cannot place that AK into the AAA category, but I am gonna place it inside of the first line, inside of the A category. Without a doubt, it's a really great weapon. And also, if I would have to rate, like, probably AAA category is just gonna be like 10 out of 10 weapons, and A category are gonna be like 9 out of 10 or like 8 out of 10 weapons. So AK is definitely like a 9 out of 10, like a really strong 9 out of 10 weapon, but it's not 10 out of 10 with plus weapon. And here we have my favorite weapon, Glock, and it's not my favorite weapon for no reason, because it is super common, it is really strong. So I will easily and without a doubt place it inside of the AAA category, because it's just super strong. It's not like extremely strong or whatever, like, don't get me wrong, I think unmodded Glock does like only like 60 or 70 damage per second, and after you mod it, the max damage per second it can do like 100 or like maybe 105 or something. So it's not like extremely strong, but it's the only weapon that doesn't miss now in the game, except the Zipgun and other like garbage stuff or VSS or something. But But Glocks are very common. You can find them inside of the green crates of Bunker Alpha. Also, they're like spread out everywhere. You can find them in chests in like red or even probably green zones. I'm not sure if you can find guns inside of the green zones, but Glocks are really common and very strong, and a lot of people underestimate Glocks. I remember back in the days, people were like recycling or deleting Glocks because they aren't just as good or something, but after weapons started missing, everybody didn't have enough Glocks or something. So Glocks are super strong. A lot of people do underestimate them, and especially if you're gonna craft mods for the Glock is gonna become insane. And even without mods, Glock is one of the best weapons that you can find here in the game. So without a doubt, it goes in the AAA category. I love Glocks. Glocks are awesome. And then we have here our makeshift bat, and I mean, it's just garbage. So in my opinion, it's gonna go inside of that C tier category because it's kind of expensive to craft. Like, you need duct tape for it, if I'm not mistaken. You need planks or something, but there are way better weapons available for you than just this makeshift bat. So that's why it's gonna go inside of the C category. I don't see a lot of people using those makeshift bats. They're definitely kind of doo-doo, and mods for these makeshift bats are kind of lame, so it easily fits inside of the C category. And then we have here crowbar, and I think a lot of people aren't gonna agree with me on that, but I'm gonna place crowbars inside of the AAA category because some of you, again, might not agree with me on that, but crowbars are really unique because they are super cheap to craft. Like, there isn't any other single weapon in the game that you would be able to craft, especially when you're starting out the game. But crowbars require only a little bit of iron and a little bit of leather, and that's it. You can swing that crowbar really, really quickly, and it does like 17 damage if I'm not mistaken, and I think it has like 1.6 speed. Crowbar doesn't have any mods, but it's like super cheap. In my opinion, it's one of the cheapest weapons you can craft in the game, and it is insanely good for newcomers. Maybe the better place for that crowbar would be inside of the A category, but crowbars are just super unique. There isn't any other single melee weapon that you could craft and actually profit from it. Like, obviously there are better weapons. Like, for example, same pipe is better than a crowbar, and a machete is better than a crowbar. But this weapon tier list isn't measured by how strong the weapon is. It's measured by its efficiency and how cheap it is. So for the beginners, crowbar is just insanely strong. Okay, so I'm placing it back into the A category because maybe I over-exaggerated a little bit, because I mean, whilst it's super great for the newcomers and blah blah blah, but after like level 100 or something, you won't be crafting those crowbars anymore. You will be crafting your pipes and machetes, and they're going to be way better than crowbars. But for the beginners, crowbars are really awesome, so that's why crowbars are so high. A lot of people underappreciate crowbars, so probably that's why I wanted to put it inside of the AAA category, so that just people appreciate crowbars and they just show some love for them. Because some people are like, well, crowbars are bad, just craft machetes or something. But when you're starting out the game, it's really hard to gain some resources, but iron and leather are pretty common, so that's why crowbars are awesome. I think I said everything I wanted to say about crowbars. So after that, here we have a bow. To be honest, I don't want to rate a bow. Like, call me crazy, but I'm not going to be rating this garbage. Like, bow isn't better than nothing. Like, seriously, nothing is better than a bow. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, you're going to output more DPS with your fists than with a bow. Like, bow is the worst weapon in the game. Like, you cannot use it. Mods for this weapon are kind of expensive / rare. At the same time, super useless. So the worst mods in the game, like literally the worst mods you can craft, are going to be the bow mods. Like, probably crafting mods for your zip gun is going to be better than crafting mods for your bow. Like, and this video isn't about me roasting a bow. Like, back in the days, bow was super awesome. You could use it on Frenzy Giants, then probably maybe it would have gotten like a AAA, but or maybe at least an A tier or something. But bows are super garbage right now. Like, literally, you cannot use them on anything. Like, they're even kind of expensive. You will need to use duct tape and other stuff to craft those bows. But even if they were, like, free, nobody would use them. So, call me crazy. I am not going to rate here this bow because it doesn't fit inside of the C category. It's worse than better than nothing. Like, it's just garbage. After that, here we have a cleaver, and cleaver is pretty awesome, and it's really great, especially if you're gonna have the best mods for it. If you're gonna have like those two blue mods, like I don't remember how those mods are called, but after you fully mod your cleaver, it's gonna be like insanely fast, and it's gonna do like 22 or something damage with each slice, and it's just like probably gonna be the quickest melee weapon possible in the game, and it's extremely strong. But for that, you need to get mods for it, and it's 50/50. It's not super expensive, but again, I would probably suggest you crafting crowbars instead of cleavers. So that's why cleavers are gonna go inside of the B category, because you would just rather craft that crowbar than a cleaver. And actually, I really and strongly want to put that crowbar in, not the crowbar, but the cleaver inside of the C category, because it's just kind of bad. But again, C category is just filled with better than nothing items. But I am not gonna place that cleaver inside of the C category because, like I said, it has really strong mods. I would say that cleaver has one of the strongest mods here in the game, and and you need only 2 mods. So if you're going to be lucky enough and assemble your cleaver fully, then it's going to be a really strong weapon. So that's why it doesn't go inside of the C category, because unmodded it's pretty bad, but modded is going to be really strong. And fully modded cleaver is like easily probably like type 5 best like melee weapons, like it's, or like maybe even top 3. Like modded cleavers are mwah. That's why it stays inside of the B category, not inside of the C category. And then we have spears here, and without a doubt, spears go inside of the C category. And spear is exactly the definition of better than nothing, because you can do a little bit of sneak damage with that spear, but other than that, there are way better weapons that you can craft. And even though spear is extremely cheap or something, but it's not as strong, it's quite slow, and even it has one of, again, the worst mods available in the game. Like, do not craft spear mods unless if you love memes, and that's it. But spear is kind of bad, so I think C category fits it perfectly. I mean, it fits perfectly inside of the C category, but you got the point. And then we have here M16, and I think some people aren't gonna agree with me, but I'm not a huge fan of M16. I am gonna place this M16 inside of the B category. It's gonna go in the first line of B category, but it's definitely, it cannot fit inside of the A category, like with AK or something, because it's not even close to being as good as AK. Even though M16s are kind of cool, they are kind of common, and at the same time, they have a little bit more durability than Glocks. If I'm not mistaken, the unmodded M16 has like 2,500 damage compared to a Glock's 2,000 damage, but it misses a lot, and it's really just bad. Even if you fully mod it, it still misses a lot. Like unmodded M16 is like I'm not gonna, I don't want to say garbage, and it's way better than nothing. That's why it fits inside of that B category, but it could have been better. I would definitely love to see a buff in M16, because it just misses incredibly a lot, and there are just way better weapons than that M16, and mods for M16 aren't as good. And then we have here an Uzi, and I have a little bit of troubles rating that Uzi. I don't know where to place it, either in A or B category, because fully modded Uzi just shreds. Like, it's incredibly strong weapon. Like, fully modded Uzi easily would be like AAA weapon if that would be the base model that comes. You know what I'm trying to say here? But Uzis are kind of rare, not really kind of rare, but Uzis are really rare. You cannot find a lot of them, and you need to fully mod it, but unmodded Uzi is kind of bad. Like, you would just probably recycle it. So I am gonna place it inside of the B category second line, because I think that M16 is a bit better than Uzi. But again, fully modded Uzi is obviously better than that M16, but Uzis are kind of rare. You're not gonna find as many Uzis as you find M16s, so Uzi is below M16, but it's still in B tier category, so whatever. And then we have here a flare gun. Flare guns are good. You can stack a lot of damage on them, but again, they're super rare. You can only get those flare guns, I'm not sure where. I think you can find them on the 4th floor if you have your true friend dog. So flare guns are extremely rare. Maybe you can also find flare guns inside of those floppy crates, but other than that, you cannot find a lot of flare guns. So placing flare guns inside of the C category would be a sin, so I think they perfectly fit inside of that B category second line. And then we have our Winchester, and to be honest, I don't know where to place it inside of the C category, on B or B category, because Winchesters are like kind of garbage. They are pretty rare. You cannot find a lot of these Winchesters, but they're good for recycling, so I think just because of that recycling thing, they're gonna go inside of the B category. I would love to put those Winchesters inside of the C category, but again, the C category is filled with garbage. And Winchester is worse than any other weapon here inside of that B category so far, so I don't know, like, Winchester is just bad, and it has really horrible mods. I wish developers buffed Winchester. Like, Winchester is one of those weapons that came out, everybody was excited, but it's super bad. Maybe one day they're gonna buff it or something. And then we have our shotgun, and shotgun is a really unique weapon, especially if you're gonna get a spread shot. If you're gonna get a spread shot, it's gonna become one of the best weapons in the game, but that spread shot is extremely rare, so I don't think I'm gonna be taking it into an account here. But shotguns are also really awesome if you want to deal with a blind one. Like, you can really quickly deal with a blind one just with one shotgun and a little bit of whatever other like garbage weapon or something. So in my opinion, shotguns are gonna go inside of that A tier category second line, because whilst shotguns aren't like super amazing, like blah blah blah, you need like good mods for it, for the shotgun to shine, but it does have a lot of durability. I don't remember how much, but I think it has like 3,000 durability or something, so that's why it goes inside of the A category, because it has a lot of durability, but it is kind of rare. But it would be seriously a sin to place it inside of the B category. Like, I really want to place it inside of the B category, but it has quite durability, and that's why shotgun goes inside of that second line of A tier weapons. And then we have only 2 weapons left, so talking about revolver, like, revolvers are doo-doo. They're super rare. I think the only way to find them is inside of the floppy crates, and it's really hard to place that revolver inside of the B category. Like, so I would lovely place this revolver inside of the C category, but I cannot compare it to our zip gun. So, okay, you can call me crazy, but I am gonna place that revolver inside of the C category because, I mean, it's just super rare. The only way to get it inside of the floppy crates, like, dude, seriously, the loot that you get in floppy crates is revolver, and you have to like get like 3 or something floppy crates just to unlock that revolver from the specialist or something. So it's just, that's why it gets a C. It's not as bad. Like, obviously it's better than a zip gun, but it's so rare that, dude, it's like easily C category. What was I thinking placing it inside of the B category? And comparing it to like Winchester or something, it's definitely worse than Winchester, and I don't even think you can get a lot of good stuff by recycling those revolvers. So just garbage. And then we have a harpoon, and I don't think I'm gonna be rating harpoons here because they just came out in season 2 and you could get only like 1 or 2 harpoons, so I would easily place that harpoon in the C category. But harpoons are kind of cool, kind of unique, so I don't think I'm gonna be rating them at all. Not because they're super bad, but just because it is too rare. I don't even know why I included those harpoons inside of the list here. Like, that's it, harpoon is gone now. I removed the harpoon from the list at all because I don't think it's worth it to rate harpoon at all because it's just extremely rare. Bow is garbage, like it's like Z category or something, like super garbage. Bows are seriously even worse than nothing. So this is how I would rate the weapons, and to be honest, I am super surprised. I definitely thought that more weapons would fit inside of the AAA category or inside of the A category. I hopefully didn't miss any other guns here. I think that I took every other weapon, and I do know that a lot of people aren't gonna agree with my choice. Everybody definitely has their favorite weapons. Before I rated every weapon here, I definitely took here quite some time to think about where I'm gonna place them inside of the AAA or A category, and I still kind of agree on where I place those weapons. So if you enjoyed this list, definitely smash that like button on the video, and thank you for your support. So I highly suggest you checking out this video. It's a really cool survival game. Or click on the second card and you will see a cool video about The Witch. Or hop over to my channel, go to playlist, and there you'll find a lot of other games that are played here on the channel. If you're not subscribed yet, definitely make sure to drop that subscribe button and notification bell to not miss any future videos. Also consider following me on Instagram or Twitter at HappyCairek. Yep.